Welcome. I hadn't been able to do this for a couple of weeks, but here I am. I'm back, and I'm hoping that I can continue to do this again on a weekly basis as I used to. It's been very busy, and also the energy has been so strong that I've also had to kind of take my time and rest. Okay, so let's talk about this coming week's energy of the week, which is week 40 of 2021, starting on October 4th and finishing October 10th of 2021. Okay, so 40 is a number that can feel like we have great responsibility. It's like you can feel like there's a lot on your shoulders, that there's stuff that's pending on your own decisions, and without that, things cannot move. So part of what could happen with the energy of 40 is that we may attach to things, thinking that if we don't stay where we know, we risk losing everything. So there is a risk of attachment on the energy of 40. So what we really need to do is actually to let go and to connect to our intuition, actually follow our guidance. So, in general terms, a 4, which is the 4 of the 40, is quite intuitive. And the 0 next to the 4 is the potential. It talks about everything can happen from within the potential. And so the 4 needs to kind of understand what's required of it. So it may feel it's like a lot for them, but needs to take action. Detach from their own mindsets and allow for the new ideas to come in. So it might be a week that is full of ideas and things that need to take place. Action. You may need to take action. But 40 plus 5 of the year is 45-9. So the prevalent energy of the week is 45-9. And 45 can see the human condition. What does this mean? When we're on a 45 week, we can feel the pain of others. We can see the suffering of other people. We may connect to what's happening in the world, the wars happening here, the situation with the pandemic we're going through, all the suffering that's going on, and so on. So this is so we can actually understand, but not so we take it on and go down with it, because there's a risk of falling into despair. So in order for us to use this energy properly, we really need to clean our emotional body and let go of our own illusions and dramas, so we can actually turn around this energy in order for us to serve and support others, rather than to fall into a depression and get all sad and hopeless about the future. So only when we let go of the illusion is when we can see the light and be able to serve. So that's quite important this week. So if you're feeling that you're going into that path of, oh my God, the world is going to end, or so many people are suffering, why is this happening here, why are people acting this way, remember and bring yourself, give yourself a little bit of a pat on the back and say, hey, stop here. This is not the way I want to go. Transform that energy so you can actually become the 9, the master, the teacher, the one that can serve, the one that can support others. Just because you actually understand what they're going through, not because you're taking it on, you know what I'm saying? It's like that compassionate, that understanding self, not the one that is like in the victim mode and thinking, oh, the world is going to end, everything is too difficult, okay? So there's a way of turning that energy around. And so if we look at the year as a 23, we have the 40 and the 23 together goes to 63, 9. And 63 is the mission. So once we see the light, once we understand what we need to do, this energy gives us like that drive to move forward and to act and to take action. So as I was saying before, it's a week that talks about taking action, moving in a different direction, because we are understanding something new. We're seeing things differently. So let me go through the dates so you see this in more detail. So the week starts on the 4th. And as I was saying before, the 4 is quite intuitive. So a 4 is able to understand. It's able to see the little bits of details of the plan. And so if it connects through their intuition, it's able to move forward and take action. It's quite resilient, it has discipline, it has endurance, so it has the energy to plod along on the path. So then we move into the energy of the month 10, and 10 needs to let go of the comfort zone. It needs to move away from what is known, it needs to move away from, one of the names is leave the skirt of your mother. And the skirt of our mothers, that it is very comfortable and very safe. So we need to have that courage to move away from the comfort and the known things in our life and take the risk to start something new. So the 4 knows what to do, the 4 has the endurance, and the 10 has to gain the courage to move forward. So 4 plus 10 is 14, 5. In weeks before, we've spoken about the 14. The energy of 14 is an energy that helps us uplift. It's related to the Kundalini energy, and for those who know what Kundalini is that energy that helps us in the process of awakening. It helps us move. It's a fire that brings us to a next level of consciousness. So there's that element of awakening, of understanding, of seeing things in a new way. And so 14 is also the power of the word. So you may be able to communicate your needs a bit more clearly. It's a day where we could possibly need to be careful about the things we say, because they can be quite powerful and it could affect others and self, So 14 plus 5 of the year is 19, 10, 1. We have another 10 in here, talking about taking the courage to move forward. But then the main energy in this day is the 19. And 19 would like you to connect to your own authority. So trust that trust on your own skills, trust that you know the path, and forget about convincing others. Sometimes 19, when the 19 is still stuck in the ego side, would like others to do the things their way they want to. They want to push people, they want to make people do things in their own way. But the 19 needs to learn that that's not necessary. You need to leave people take their own path, and you need to move forward in the direction that your soul is guiding you without needing others to follow you. And as you take that path, then you will inspire others to follow you. So you just gotta trust that trust that you have the skills, and trust that your intuition will guide you forward. Okay, so in the middle of the week, we will have the new moon in Libra. And in Australia, it falls on the 6th of October. And so it is quite interesting. A new moon is a time for starting something new. It's like this reset, the energy resets, Finally, the light of the moon disappears, and it's ready to take and start again. So it is a time for setting intentions. It's a time to focus on what we would like to create in the new cycle. And being in Libra, and Libra being a sign where we want to understand both sides of the coins, is like the perfect mediator because it wants to balance things. But it's also the sign that talks about the great relationship. What do we want to commit to? Where does our heart lies? And so it's the only zodiacal sign that doesn't have an animal, a living being in it. All the other ones, if you look, they have a living being in it. This one has only the scales, meaning that they need to find what is behind and what lies in your heart. You need to find your heart and then commit. So there is a commitment to start something that relates to what you truly believe in, okay? So it may be that you see things differently. And so let me go through the numbers. So 6 is the number of the cup. The cup, as in, is a receptive number. It's a number that talks about a completion. It's a receiving of the light. The cup, when it's open, it will really understand and serve with devotion to others. Okay, the risk of the 6 is that it wants perfection, and so if it's still stuck on the outside world, I mean in the superficial, it would want that everything is perfect, and it may want to control others too. It may want that others do the things they want to do. But the 6 needs to just become that cup that receives and just serves and connects with their own beauty inside. And so 6 plus 10 of the month is 16, and 16 is the mirror. So the mirror needs to clear itself of any mist so it can reflect the light properly. What does this mean? We may go through certain emotions and perhaps there might be some situations that remind us of pains of the past, and this is so we can clear them and release them, so we clear up any misunderstandings that are keeping us stuck, our mindset stuck on something that is not true. So remember, I was saying before that we need to let go of the illusions and the drama so we can actually turn around the energy of the 45-9, so we can actually connect to others and serve. So that pain in the past is there, so we actually understand what others are going through, and from that understanding, being able to support them. It's not for us to just getting stuck to any grudges and feeling that we need to have revenge and so on. Actually, that pain is there to bring our minds, bring a new understanding to our minds. Okay, so again, so that 16 is to help us clear any misunderstanding, so we actually could be a good reflection of the light. And so 16 plus 5 is 21, 12, 3, and 21 is the gifted child. So remember how I was saying that we may find our gifts, we may find a new way of using our abilities, because the 19 needs to find its self-authority. So on this day, we may see things differently. We may turn our mindsets around. We might have a new understanding of how things are, so we can actually help others, support others in having a higher perspective of life. So this is the energy of the 6th of October, when we will have that new moon in Libra. And so you see, by the middle of the week, we're already shifting. We're shifting directions. We may start going fearful and trying to push others, and then we have this understanding. There's new information coming through, and more clarity into our lives to support others that may going through the same things we experienced in the past. Okay, so then the week finishes on the 10th. So you have the double 10 there. So you have 10 and 10. And 10, I already said, requires courage. So there you go, there's that need for courage again. And to do things in the way we understand is the way to move forward. And so if we look at the 10-1 and 10-1, then we see an 11. So there's an aspect of the 11 in there. And so the 11, as I have mentioned in weeks before, is the prophet. If we are open to listen, to receive the light. Otherwise, we could be quite stubborn. Okay, so if we are open and receiving, we will probably receive so much information that will help us then take a new perspective in life and heal. I'll show you why. 20 is, so 10 plus 10 is 20, and 20 is a very creative number, a number that will be able to conceive new ideas. And then 20 plus 5 of the year is a 25-7. And 25, one of the aspects of the 25 is grace. And so what the risk is for the 25 is that the mind can be traveling too fast. So we need to bring that mind to a calm state. So it would be important for us to have some contemplation, some meditation, something that brings peace to our mind. And for everyone, you know, people do this in different ways. For me, there are different ways to do this, but meditation is a great one. Contemplation is an amazing one for me. So I use these techniques when I'm feeling out of balance. And so when it's in those moments of stillness that the information can come in, and that we may be able to see things in a different way. So that 7 of the 25 could bring healing and transformation. So there we go. This is the path that we're going through this week, where we may shift our mindsets, and so leave behind any victim or any mindset that keeps us in pain and despair, to be able to use that information, that understanding, to connect to others, to the pain of the human condition, and become the teachers, become the guides, become the humanitarians, become those who will serve others for a better life. Okay, so if you have any questions, send them through. I would like to hear how you're experiencing this, because we're already on Sunday, moving into the Monday. Already the energy starts shifting, and we start feeling a little bit of that stirring within us. We may feel like, why are they treating me like that? You may be feeling this kind of anger starting to bubble inside. And so be mindful of that. All of this is to help us, eh? So use all of these moments, all of this understanding, use them consciously to shift and to grow and to move in a new direction. Okay, I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.